Hello friends, Jennifer Pearson here, Thistle Gypsy, with a deck review of Fractal Tarot. I'm sorry for the glare and I'm sorry for my kind of odd positioning, trying to move things around here. So this is the Fractal Tarot. It comes in this tuck box and it doesn't even fit perfectly in the tuck box, actually. I mean, it's the tuck box is more than big enough. It's like there's space in there for a guidebook or something. But this is made by an individual. It says Sarah, S-A-R-A-M, Pellerin, P-E-L-L-E-R-I-N. And through Gamecrafters, which is, it says that on the inside of the box. So she created the deck on Gamecrafters, so it's kind of a self-publishing platform, I think, for games. And yeah, I got this in a trade, so I don't even quite know how you get it. I looked at it on Gamecrafters, and it's almost as though you can select different things. So I don't completely understand Gamecrafters, but here we go. And so I'm doing a introduction to the Fractal Tarot. This particular Fractal Tarot, there's more than one out there. I think there's about 3. So there is no guidebook with this, but there's a reason for that, of course. It's because of the images are all fractals. They're all abstract images, essentially. So this is just a, like a publication card here. And then she has a couple of spreads. Very, very simple spreads. So a spread card, and then it has a minor arcana card. And as you can see, there's just a few words for each, the 7 of Cups, daydreams, reining in emotions, standing fast, so, and then there's a major arcana card. So instead of a guidebook, you get these little guides, which are interesting. But you need to, if you're going to read this as a tarot deck, obviously you need to know the tarot anyway. In other words, you need to know that the tarot beforehand, as any odd deck would require. So this is it. You get down here, and I have to say, and I think because somewhere it says first U.S. publication, so Sarah Pellerin might be from another country, a non-English speaking country. Either that, well, I think it really is a non-English speaking country because of some of the errors that are on these cards here. And yeah, some of them are just typo kind of errors, but some of them are slight grammar errors. And just like here we have the Fool, she also, I think, at some point has the Justice, and which is not how we do that. We just say justice, not the justice. And I think there's the Death. Okay, so there are some either errors or language barrier kinds of errors, or flat out errors. So I'm going to just do a walkthrough. Again, this is definitely a deck where if you are going to abide by, I should say, if you're going to abide by the tarot associations, then you need to have a background in tarot to begin with. You have to have gotten that knowledge somewhere else, because they're all abstract images. And I have to be honest, although the card size is fine, the lettering is fine, and I like the black background, so everything about this is fine, except I would change some of these cards around. Like this could be the Fool, but I think there could be better ones for the Fool. And I found particularly with the court cards, I was thinking, no, that court cards. There are some court cards that I think are great, but some of them it's like, no, these two need to be, like this page and this knight need to be switched around. So I found myself having those kinds of responses to them. So probably what I personally will do, In fact, I would be surprised if I didn't. Is I'm going to take these off of here. I'm going to take the lettering off, at least to the bottom. I don't know that I'll do all the way around. I do like that black. And I'm going to reassign them. I'm going to either reassign them tarot card associations, or I'm going to just let it be intuitive. And I'm not sure that I could let it be intuitive, so probably I will just do some reassigning. So here we go. I'm just going to run through them so you can see the different variety and how she treats the different suits. And there are various ones. Like I like this as the priest. It looks like it's dancing, like the dancing Wooly Masters. On the other hand, I don't like this for the lovers, and it's kind of hard to have a deck where you don't like the lovers card. It isn't that I don't like it altogether, it's just I don't like it. To me, this would be, with all those hook sorts of things, would be a great death card with the sickle of the death, or even the devil card. But anyway, here's the Chariot. As you see, the Justice, which doesn't quite make sense. So some really cool images, and this is one of those decks that I would never have gotten if it weren't for a trade. I had a deck that had a card that had been damaged, so it wasn't a complete deck. But I put it on Tarot Swap, and this gal wanted it because it was baseball oriented, and but she didn't have a lot of options in terms of trading. And since I was, it was an odd trade anyway, because I was trading a deck that was missing a card, I just thought, I need to not be too picky. And so I thought, yeah, I'll try your Fractal. I liked some of the images. And so I thought, why not? And I'm glad I did. I wouldn't otherwise have gotten this, but it's definitely different and intuitive. And some of these cards I want to turn around. It's like, this is kind of funky for Judgment, but I kind of feel like I like it like this. So I don't know. I'm going to play around with them. And reversals could be interesting. So it's going to be a fun deck to get to know. This one says the world. It looks like the halter top to me. So yeah, I'm going to have to spend some time looking at these images and see what they say to me in general. What comes through, what comes across. So we're in the suit of swords now. I wonder if I can get that. There's more subtlety to the colors, or the shading in there than you'll see from my lighting that I have here. Whoops. So there are some similarities. There's a lot of this kind of spiral. It takes away from the deck a little bit, but not too much. I do kind of like that as the King of Swords. And even the Queen of Swords was very interesting. She has lots, like, if this is the Queen of Swords, you can't really see it, but these look like dog heads, like they're guardians, and this would be the crown here. It's just so, maybe. Now into Pentacles, and she does tend to use a lot of green in the Pentacles, I did notice. And this is one where do I want that it's interesting to look at it like that instead of like that. Yep. And see this little figure there, the V-shaped thing, looks so much like a fox that I'm kind of inclined to think of this one as the Seven of Swords, with that sneaking off with something. So very suggestive. And this is so shell-like that it strikes me as that it should be somewhere in the cups. Shells generally being associated with cups. Seven of Pentacles. Eight of Pentacles. Nine of Pentacles. So, some really beautiful images that I really think could be quite evocative above and beyond tarot associations. Queen of Pentacles, sorry for the glare. And the Wands does tend to be strongly orange-red. And oddly, it has sort of more flat images. This is the flattest image in the entire deck. And this is a fairly flat image. Some of them have a lot of depth to them. I feel like my webcam, color-wise especially, is not quite doing them justice, but, look at that. See, I would almost say that this is Queen of Wands, not King of Wands, but it's part of my problem here. Can I get closer? See, I think that that's beautiful. Two of Cups. Love that. It's the Two of Cups. This doesn't make any sense to me whatsoever about Three of Cups. So, 4. Ten of Cups. This makes a lot of sense, and it really evokes the all the rainbows that are generally in the Ten of Cups card. Most of the time, I actually miss that rainbow when it isn't included in a Ten of Cups. And I really like this as the Queen of Cups, even though most people wouldn't think in terms of black, but I think of the Queen of Cups as being somebody who looks into mysteries. And so, yeah, what's going on? I guess I had that incorrect. And this is the King of Cups. And this, because that cup there looks like crystal, also looks like an owl. This, I would almost be inclined to use this and this down here that, you know, strikes me as being similar to the High Priestess's headdress, that I would be inclined to make this. And with those radiating waves there, the High Priestess card, actually. So, yep, modifications ahead, but also another thing that's ahead is just spending some time with these cards. And I know it's not going to be the first thing I do, but because I've got other decks in line, I've had too many trades and too many that require some thinking, and I'm just wanting, even the decks I've had for a while, I'm wanting to dig into. But I think this is going to be a really interesting deck to sit down and make my own. I mean, I think it's going to inform me about my associations with certain cards in terms of which of these images I would choose to represent the various cards. So yeah, it will be an interesting deck to deal with. Not an easy deck to pick up and start reading with, even though it gives you the card associations. Yeah, I have to sort of fall into the cards to some extent, and so just the name association won't cut it for me. I'm gonna have to play with these cards and make them my own. But I'm looking forward to it, and I'm glad I got them. They were a quirky trade to accept, but I'm grateful for the trade, and I think I will have a very interesting time making the Fractal Tarot my own. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.